Hey, it's Luke from LT Gaming, and today we're looking at possibly the greatest Star Wars mod of all time. And I really don't say that lightly. Star Wars Interworlds is not just a little ship pack or a few nice models dropped onto another space game. This is a full conversion mod for X4 Foundations that basically takes one of the deepest Space Empire sandboxes ever made and rebuilds it beautifully into a living Star Wars galaxy. So if you've ever wanted to start with a small ship, slowly build your way up, trade, fight, explore, command fleets, and eventually become a proper galactic power in the Star Wars universe, this might be the mod you've been waiting for. You see what I did there? You see what I did? Star Wars references everywhere today. And before we go for the deep dive, if you enjoy this sort of space sim madness, hit the like button. It really helps us and ensures the force is strong on the algorithm. The reason Star Wars Interworlds works so well is because X4 Foundations is already built around the kind of fantasy that Star Wars fans secretly want from a game. I know it's jumping franchises, but even looking at the new Star Trek games, stop giving us these things we just don't want. Give us a Star Trek space sim, give us a Star Wars space sim. You can hear the desperation in my voice, but come on, it's not that hard, right? And essentially, X4 is a space sandbox where the galaxy exists around you. Factions trade, build, expand, fight, lose territory, rebuild their fleets, and react to what is happening around them. And then you as the player can start as a nobody and build your way up to galactic domination, or a full-on industrial nightmare with enough money and ships to make the Hutts look financially responsible. And this is why X4 is such a strong foundation for Star Wars, because Star Wars at its best has always been about scale. It's not just about one ship, it's about the sense there is a whole galaxy out there, empires rising and falling, criminal syndicates carving out their own little kingdoms, and smaller characters getting pulled into much bigger conflicts. X4 has all of this in abundance, and when you combine it with a Star Wars mod, or to be honest, it's almost a standalone game at this stage, it really excels. So what does Star Wars Interworlds actually add? At a high level, it basically replaces the X4 universe with its own Star Wars sandbox. We're talking a new galaxy map, new sectors, factions, ships and weapons, and also reworked faction behavior, new progression systems, a rebalanced economy, and a completely different overall feel. You don't just get a mod that's trying to say, here are some Star Wars ships flying around in X4. It tries to make the entire game feel like it belongs in Star Wars. So factions now behave differently, the economy is tuned around the universe, and combat has been reworked. It all feels absolutely amazing to play and very much part of Star Wars. And the ship list here is genuinely ridiculous. The ships are actually better than the vanilla X4 ones, though I do love my Hyperion, but shh, I never said this, but they're just better. You've X-Wings, Y-Wings, A-Wings, B-Wings, TIE Fighters, TIE Interceptors, Star Destroyers, Mon Calamari Cruisers, I mean the list goes on. Even more specialist ships like the Lambda Shuttle and the Venator. And there's a universe start where you can go and sample all of the different ships, fly them around, go inside, check out the interiors. If the mod was just this, it would be worth it alone, but it's not, it's so much more. It's an incredible game mode, and I spent hours in it just last night recording footage and messing around, and I'm sure you will too. And what I like about this mod is it pulls ships from the prequel era, original trilogy, Legends, absolutely everything you can think of, but it manages to meld it all together in a proper working galaxy, so it doesn't just feel like a greatest hits. And you don't just fly around going, oh wow, I'm in an X-Wing, although that's enough for me these days. You have to engage with X4 systems like stations, production chains, and the ever-changing universe around you. And then the mod becomes a lot more than fan service. It's absolutely there and it's glorious, but underneath that is a surprisingly serious attempt to make Star Wars function as a grand space sandbox. The mod also brings in full music replacement, new weapon types, bounty hunting, different reworked missions, and a lot of reactive factions. Just like the base game, this mod feels really alive. The 0.9 version of the mod also ties in nicely to X4's diplomacy systems, which makes a lot of sense for Star Wars. Just a quick interlude to say most of you who watch the channel are not subscribed. So make sure to go down below and hit that subscribe button, because it helps smaller channels like us grow really quickly, and both me and Tom really appreciate it. But the real reason I wanted to make a feature on this is not just to tell you everything that's in it, it's the feel of this. Honestly, Star Wars Interworlds has given me some of the best Star Wars moments I've ever had in gaming. And I know that sounds really dramatic, but when you're standing inside one of your favourite ships, walking around the interior, looking out into space, hearing the ambience, hearing the music, hearing the sound effects, and then launching into this huge living galaxy, it just really hits you. There's really something about being inside these ships that makes the fantasy click. It's one thing to see a Star Destroyer from the outside, I mean that's really cool. But when you're on the bridge of one looking out to your fleet in a massive Star Wars space battle with all its spectacle, it's truly immersive. It's the sort of Star Wars experience games often promise but rarely ever deliver. You might be flying around in a small fighter just trying to make some money, and then suddenly a capital ship engagement kicks off nearby. Or you might be doing a bit of trading and come across the aftermath of a much larger conflict. That's what X4 does so well, and Interworlds gives it the Star Wars atmosphere to make those moments feel incredible. The music and sound effects do a huge amount of heavy lifting, though I won't be playing all the famous music in this video for extremely obvious please don't destroy my channel reasons. But when you guys are playing yourselves, the audio package makes a massive difference. So it's not just visual recognition, this mod sounds right, the ships feel right, the weapons feel right, the whole thing has that Star Wars texture. And because X4 is so systems driven, it also gives Star Wars a type of scale that most official games don't really touch. You're not just doing a heroic mission and moving on, you're living inside the machinery of the galaxy, planning your economy, contributing to the sandbox, and basically building yourself a massive Star Wars empire. For me, this is an absolute dream. So why should Star Wars fans try this, or just anybody to be honest? Because if you're even slightly tired of waiting for the perfect official Star Wars game to come along, this is one of those mods that reminds you how powerful the modding scene can be. It understands something that a lot of Star Wars games don't always capture. Atmosphere matters, the galaxy matters, the feeling of being part of a wider universe matters. And if you can get through that initial learning curve, Interworlds gives you something really rare. A Star Wars sandbox where you can create your own story. And as we all know, some of the best Star Wars stories live in the corners, the smugglers, the pilots, the mercenaries, the soldiers, the political mess after the fall of an empire. Well, if you're an expanded universe novels fanatic like me, my wife's getting really fed up with all the Star Wars novels that keep arriving, you will know about all of this stuff. Let me know actually, do you read expanded universe or are you a canon person? Lately I've been getting back into Star Wars in a big way, and my expanded universe novel collection has absolutely exploded. I'm currently reading Darth Maul Shadowhunter and just finished Cloak of Deception, and I'm really enjoying that time period. I did reach out to Egosoft for comment on this mod, and their comment is no comment, and I can understand that because of the IP involved. But I'm Luke from LT Gaming and I don't care about that stuff, so basically Disney hire me, we're gonna build the greatest space sim ever, put me in as creative director, it's gonna be absolutely epic, and then I woke up. I'd have scrapped all the new films and basically started making expanded universe movies, but yeah, it's not gonna happen. Okay, so installation is really simple. Download the mod, install it into your extensions folder in the X4 parent folder, then roll back to 8.00, which is easily done through the Steam Properties tab. Go into the game and enable the extensions. It's really easy to do. I do believe you need all the mainline DLCs for this to work. But just do it, it's the greatest investment you'll ever make. So is Star Wars Interworlds worth trying, and also is it worth buying X4 and all the DLCs just to do this? Absolutely. If you already like X4 Foundations, this is almost a must play, because it takes the living economy, fleet command, empire building and scale of X4 and wraps it in one of the most impressive Star Wars conversions I've ever seen. And if you're mainly a Star Wars fan who has never really played X4, go in knowing this is a deep space sandbox rather than a quick cinematic campaign. But if you want to trade, fight, build, explore and create your own story in a living Star Wars galaxy, you know you do, this is one of the best experiences available on PC right now. Let me know in the comments your experiences with the mod, or what faction you started with, or any questions you have, I'll try and answer them. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. I've been Luke from LT Gaming and I'll see you out there amongst the stars. And may the Force be with you.